Minister. This act, I think we can agree, confers tremendous powers on the minister and the governor and council. We can agree on that, I take it?
Well, it is, how can I say, it's important responsibility, and that's why there's parliament oversight.
Okay. Now, parliamentary oversight happens after the fact, as in after a decision is made, then Parliament looks at things. And we know how that sometimes goes, because if the wrong decision is made, then we try to repair it after the fact. So what I'm going to ask you, Minister, is this. Why wouldn't we have judicial oversight, as in a judicial authorization at the front end, whenever you or the government wishes to take action, like in 15.2, to ensure the government isn't breaking the law? Would you not support that rather than looking at something after the fact to see if we got it right?
So I hear you, and the goal is definitely to make sure that the government can act, particularly in times of national security where urgency is required, and also that it is part of our intelligence system. But we have already NSICOP and CIRA that are doing that work. And I must say, having dealt with a lot of security issues in my former role, I think that this is an important, how can I say, it is an important power given to the Minister of Industry that we don't take lightly.
I understand
but
that.
At the same time,
Minister, I'm sorry, we only have a few
dear
minutes.
colleague, I just would like. What is preoccupying to me right now is we passed that bill.
I understand that, but I'm not asking you.
Okay, sorry. Sorry, I have to stop both of you.
Yeah.
I'm not asking you about
Sorry. Donc, je veux dire en français.
Let me just say in French, we can't all be speaking at the same time. Otherwise, it'll be impossible for interpreters to do the work and for everyone to understand what's being said. Please continue.
I'm trying to interrupt you, Minister. I only have 4 minutes, and we've got a lot to get through. So please do not take it personally if I do interject.
No, I don't.
Here's the thing. Everything you've discussed, though, is after the fact, and you talk about robust oversight with NSICOP. There is a principle in law called exigency, as in when a warrant can't be obtained or judicial authorization can't be obtained. That's different. In some instances, a judge would have the time and the evidence. Warrants are often obtained within a few hours. Why, rather than the minister exercising unfettered discretion over such broad powers, would you not agree that judicial authorization, an independent judge, should be the one making the decision where we can do that?
If the committee comes up with amendments, of course we'll study. So our goal is always to make sure that we get to the right balance, because I think it's really important that indeed that basically the powers of a given minister in given circumstances have guardrails. I think it's important.
I understand that.
But at the same time, this must fit in the Over Telecommunications Act infrastructure, which is also in line with the CRTC, etc. So we would need to make sure that it fits, and that's why in the circumstances this was proposed, but maybe, Casey, you want to add anything?
I would like to restrict my questions to you, Minister, with all due respect. We can ask the officials afterwards. I've got 2.5 minutes left with you. Again, I don't understand. This isn't, I don't think I'm being obtuse or anything. Why wouldn't we have an independent judge decide whether there is evidence for you to wield these significant, virtually unprecedented powers? Why wouldn't we give that over to a judge, Minister?
Listen, I don't think unprecedented power, Frank. I'm sorry. I think it's an important bill, and it's about making sure that we can protect our critical infrastructure. But I think also that we had already unanimous consent over it. We have a model right now that is based on a voluntary approach by telecommunication service providers that doesn't hold, because right now we have policy statements on national security that are voluntary. So this would just make sense to give these powers and make sure that the telecommunication companies abide by it. by them. By the way, I must
Sorry,
say the Minister
I
of
have one-
Industry under the Telecommunications Act have great power also regarding how the telecommunications sector
I just have
is
1
organized.
minute left, Minister.
And so
I'm sorry.
I think what is presented to you here is very coherent, in line with what is the policy
Okay.
across
Minister,
the country already.
Why should Canadians trust you with these extraordinary powers given your government's record?
So this is not about personalizing the approach. You know,
I'm talking about the
any of
government,
us
not
could be one day
personally.
Minister of Industry.
Yeah, I'm
It's
talking about
about
the
the
government, though.
responsibility that is given to that individual during the tenure of the government. And our goal is to protect Canadians. And this is our number one responsibility, and that's what we're doing through this.
But even when you sat around the cabinet table, we have seen so many failures with this government, whether it be Stellantis or the Emergencies Act. I don't know that Canadians have the trust when it comes to balancing rights and protecting our infrastructure. That's why I believe in judicial authorization.
Well,
Thank you.
So if I would like just to answer to that, I think Canadians have already given trust in our government, and that's why you're sitting on the right side of the table.
Well, that's a
Thank you.
I think we will stay.
Well, inappropriate.
We'll stop here.